guys don't want to miss this. The Safari Camel Porsche project.
This is the best off-road car he's ever built. And the guys'
Faces.
expression on their faces.
Doing.
What the fuck? A Porsche 911 is appearing. Right, we're back on the Peter van der Spuy podcast. My name's Peter van der Spuy, and I've got Leon Bosman here today, who's going to run this program for me, and we're going to talk about something really special. Welcome, Leon.
Yeah, good to be back. It's been a while.
It has been. We got some exciting stuff in stock, yeah.
Yeah, I know we were just talking off camera now just about this whole series that's coming, and I mean, the guys should really hit that like button, hit subscribe. You guys don't want to miss this. The topic we're talking about today is going to be developed into a series on its own because it's kind of like, I'd almost like to say it's the podcast project car.
Yeah. This is a little bit of a different format here today because, you know, we are going to be talking about this project car. And
we're both petrol heads.
This time, you know, I mean, Leon comes with a vast background in cars and doing car tests and challenges and photography, and I mean your technical knowledge is so vast, it's probably more than mine. Well, definitely more than mine. You know, I like to just drive and experience, and there's a lot of technical aspects you know, with this, and that's why I mean you're the ideal guy to carry this program through.
Just my curiosity more than anything. I just want to know.
Well, you need a.
We need this, and this.
Yeah, you need a really curious mind, and you are a curious interviewer as well, and you drill down into the right subjects, and sometimes I need a bit of prodding, so we're going to get that cracking today.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to be talking about, if you guys haven't seen it already, talking about the Camel project, so the Safari Camel Porsche project. So just to set the scene, because I can appreciate these couple of years that might not really make the connotation. We see Camel, you know, the old smokes, and everybody sees that, and they see a Porsche, and they say, but how did this whole thing come about? So, I mean, Porsche is no stranger to the life of rally, you know, the old 595, the Safari Porsche AG builds. I mean, they've done African rally, they've done all sorts of wonderful Dakar, you know, so they've got the experience. And that's a big passion for you. I mean, we've got the new little rough roads Dakar. So this is the new version that's that Porsche has brought out a couple of years ago. And also to an ode to those years. So taking your love for Porsche, you know, this project is now started. And on the Camel side, you know, the livery is quite interesting because I think livery on a car is a very personal thing. Right.
Yeah, I mean, this is
it's like a kind of like a Rothman's rough roads,
rough roads Porsche,
there was definitely some trademark infringements they had to stay with.
And this is a new version, so you know, with all the cigarette advertising and alcohol advertising is gone. Yeah, but the classic ones have not changed.
Yeah, they haven't changed. And I mean, the Camel itself, I mean, the livery isn't just a livery on the car. I mean, it actually means something, and we spoke about this earlier. So the Porsche itself, right? Safari build. We know it's got good history.
Safari Projek company.
It's got good history. The actual project and the car itself. Then we're talking about the livery and the Camel. I mean, we're talking about the Camel Trophy, the old Land Rovers, Range Rovers. The guys used to go into Africa and do all these amazing trips. I remember back in the day when I was a kid growing up, seeing the adverts. You know, you see the Camel guys, they're smoking the Camel, and they had that whole Camel Trophy competition to see the guys going into Africa with these 4x4s. To see who would win. So I suppose those two came together for you, and this is what's come out. You know, the Camel livery Safari Porsche. By
a lot of the liveries nowadays is whale companies, the Gulf livery, the Marlboro, all these different types of tag watches and liveries.
Yeah, I mean, those were the legendary sponsors back in the day. That's how motorsport, I think, got to where it is.
Absolutely.
By those big brands getting behind it. It wasn't so much about, you know, I would say, yes, the drivers. Everybody was like mad about the drivers, but everybody now wants a Martini jacket, or they want a Rothman's cap, or they want, you know, it's about the branding and less about the actual racing, really.
I mean, the Martini was a great brand, you know.
They did so well.
Porsche been, you know, sponsored by Martini from way back in 24-hour Le Mans.
And it's still part of some of the kit that comes out. Yeah. And I think that's what I like about a lot of these kind of legendary car builders and brands is they stay true to their roots, you know. And Porsche has been one of those brands that's really excelled in holding on to that classic history,
Yeah,
because they
yeah.
forget about the history. But we're here to talk about the Camel Porsche. And
I tell you why I chose the Camel Trophy branding. First of all, the color of the car. It's going to get a lot of dust on it, and you'll see the base color is a very sandy Sahara sand color. So
quite up for Africa.
It blends well in, and then true off-road bundu bashing. I mean, the Camel Trophy used to be on Land Rovers from Cape to Cairo type of thing through Africa. And, so it was a bit bold of me to do that, but it's turned out to be a highly recognizable brand. Everybody knows the car now.
I mean, that
the
car,
Camel car.
Exactly. It's a famous on the roads. There's no other car like it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great. But I mean, look, the project was very interesting because it started with what you had, but it goes back further than that. I mean, this whole idea of these cars being built by Safari Projek here in South Africa, they've now, as far as I know, they've expanded to the UK as well. So they've got a UK branch now. And I mean, they're doing really good. They're building great cars. They're standing the test of time because, I mean, you put this thing through its paces properly.
Yeah.
But you were quite a big catalyst in this whole thing, I mean, it wasn't just about building the project itself, your car, but the actual company. Tell us a little bit about that and your relationship with the guys.
Always being a Porsche fan for basically my whole life, really. And, I'm not a collector. I go from one to the other. And as soon as I've lost the excitement level, then I go to the next one and so on. And I was over in America in 2017, and a mate of mine there had this little Martini classic rally car, Porsche, that he converted himself and did work on it. And I went over there for a Gulfstream Recurrent training course.
Right.
And I met up with him in Savannah, Georgia, and he took me out on this thing. I mean, he got hold of me because he knew about my Martini Porsche race car, the RSR Turbo, the old classic 1974 one, and which was an amazing project that I did. But same as with motorbike racing, I never raced motorbikes, but you can call it the same. I was on to super bikes, and then I had a ride on a motocross bike one day. I thought this is the business, and I immediately switched to motocross.
Yeah,
and basically the same has happened. So I was always on the GD3s and the GD3 RSs, and sort of performance type, semi-legal street racing car, really. Very hard suspension and stuff. And anyway, I was over there with this mate of mine in Savannah, Georgia, and he took me to the back felt areas there, and we had some fun with this car. And I could see what could be done with this because I love off-road. And I took this thing for a whirl around there, and I was hooked immediately. And I thought, no, we got to do this back home. So long story short, I came back, got together with a mate of mine that we raced together also for many years, Johan de Bruyn. And we'd sort of been touching on the subject for a while, and I came back and I said, mate, we got to do this. We got to convert cars, but the problem is taking classic Porsches and converting them. The donor car, the classic Porsche, are so expensive now.
It probably needs a lot of work because they're not always in perfect condition. There might be rust, there might be suspension issues, all sorts of things. You never know what you're opening up.
But the main barrier to entry there is the donor car is very expensive. I mean, you're talking 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million rand, South African rands. And the builds, in America, you're talking $200,000. And so, what better car to choose than the 996? And you get the 996 Carrera 4, Carrera 4S, four-wheel drive, manual, which can really give you that
more control,
engaging drive. And the donor cars are very cheap. One's got to take into, if you compare it to the modern day Porsches, the prices, their prices were going up. The 996 traditionally wasn't a really popular car, with the egg-shaped light and so on. But it was really the first water-cooled Porsche that came out in the late late 90s, 2000, 2002. I think they made them up to about 2004. And they also brought out a 996 Turbo as well, which was a great car. And so from a bulletproof point of view, I mean, these cars were absolutely bulletproof,
Proven, yeah.
beautifully built. And they were the run-of-the-mill Porsches. And currently, you can pick them up for really good prices. You know, 500.
It's a modern classic.
500
Yeah.
to a million rand for a really good one. And what dollars is what 20 to 40.
It's a lot easier
20 to
entry points.
$30,000,
Yeah, a lot easier entry
Very
points.
easy.
Yeah.
So discussed it with Johan. He also jumped on that idea immediately. I said, let's build one. And then, you know, just to build one, it's you can't just put a raise the suspension and put tires on it.
No.
So Philip Visser, who's one of his superb race engineers, Porsche race engineer, and at this stage, Johan had started getting into off-road racing. So he was well versed with rallying, and they got together with a design team and designed an incredible suspension system. That was the main thing, getting the suspension system set up, getting proper rally
exactly,
shocks.
because I mean, this car, just so that the people understand, I mean, a Porsche is pretty low to the ground, even in standard spec.
Yeah.
So now you got to take into account, well, you're going off-road, there's boulders, there's undulation, there's, you know, all sorts of things, you know, vegetation you might need to get over.
Yeah.
So, the suspension needs to go up. But it's not as easy as just going down to your local store and saying, I'll take that and that. You know, this is specially designed, you know, maybe not been done before ever on the shape of Porsche. So it's really
I think
really
one or two guys that attempted it, but haven't really did a good job. And so the guys actually, they took them about 2.5 years to come up with an incredible design using aircraft steel and materials. And, you know, the sidearms, that is a completely off-the-shelf design. When I say off-the-shelf, in-house designed. The Riga suspension was... you know, they eventually decided on that.
Great brand. I mean, proven in the rally world, proven in the race world, but also not custom. And I'm sure those guys have got their own little bits of tips and, you know, a little bit of magic that they've added onto the suspension to make sure that it can do what it needs to do. Yeah. Because I think what a lot of people don't realize, and, you know, I saw this when I was just doing my little bit of 4x4ing. I had a couple of Jimneys before, right?
Yeah.
And what I see is suspension setups on cars that come from Japan, as an example, and then come to South Africa. Doesn't always translate, because their version of camping generally is they got pretty flat surfaces, a lot of grassland, and it's not as rugged as Africa is.
Yeah.
So they think, wow, this is great. We'll put that suspension and that shock in. You put it in, you bring it to South Africa, you fit it on the car. Now you go test drive it and you're like, well, you know what? That's not really doing the job. So we are in a very unique space that, because of our terrain, because of the massive changes that we got, I mean, on the one end, you got the coastal sides, you got the big dunes. Other side, you got the mountains going into Africa, and it's all unpredictable terrain. So these guys had a pretty big task ahead of them.
Huge task.
Massive
and
task.
They did an incredible job to come up with the final design, and then he produced his first car. And of course, I said, first car I wanted. And then Johan said, Pete, this is serial number 1. Let's wait for a couple of models to come out while we do continuous development work.
R&D.
I did take it for a drive initially. I thought, wow, this is something.
Going the right direction.
There were a lot of rattles and squeaks and so on, and suspension. He said, yeah, no, we're working on all this stuff. So that's how the Safari Projek, which is a company that Johan de Bruyn has now established, and they started full bore in design and producing these cars using those donor cars, 996s. That is the main thing. And then I had my old 996 2002 996 Turbo standing in my garage. It's a car that I've had for many years, and I thought, let me try this one. I'd like to convert this one. And my car was a concourse car.
I remember was it black originally?
White.
Oh, the white one. Yes. Oh, that's a beautiful car still to start with.
Yeah, and I said, no, man, come on. Don't first of all, don't use a turbo. It's going to be too powerful for the application. And, the turbos are all four-wheel drive anyway. And mine was a manual. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Johan, I want to convert this beautiful car. I think it'll make a perfect car. Decision was made. Car was shipped up to his little factory, and they started. And so there were a lot of challenges involved in that. There being a turbocharged car, you needed to get because you get the underarm plates from front to back.
Yeah. All the protection plates underneath.
Yeah, so that could affect the cooling. They did a lot of really tricky work on that to get the rear design to still keep up the cooling.
Because it needs to vent it essentially. Like as the car's moving, the air that's flowing underneath the car somehow has to get in and vent that air out the back. Yeah. Which is, I think, if I look at the bumper at the back, that kind of gives a little bit of an idea maybe of where a lot of that heat exhaustion can also get out, because it's got all those bumper cuts around.
By the way, that you just saw now with the holes. So finally, it was a good 8 months build because a lot of sort of development work had to be done. And so then, the livery was tackled. I mean, I was up and down to Johannesburg and continued watching the design, seeing the build. And then finally, Johan tested the car. When it came out of production, he's the guy that tests it. He knows how to do rally driving at the top of the log. And he took this car for a 300-kilometer test run. I was, of course, sitting here chomping at the bit. He doesn't destroy my car.
How many pieces is the car coming back in?
But, having said that, I mean, that's what the car needs to go through before delivery.
Because they put in quite a big stamp on it. They're saying, take this car, go anywhere you want to go, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And I think also just to put something into perspective, and it's something that I picked up a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You just mentioned the build took 8 months, right?
Yeah.
Now, everybody sees these TV shows where they say, oh, this is the car, they pull it in, they spray it, they do suspension. But in real life, the time between those cuts is massive.
Yeah.
And even at 8 months, I mean, that's pretty quick for the type of build that they're doing, because they're essentially stripping the entire car and rebuilding, changing geometry.
Yeah.
They're doing aerodynamics, they're doing protection, cooling, safety, not to forget that.
Yeah.
And then they still need to figure out, okay, what do we need to change, maybe on the engine mapping, maybe on the exhaust links, to make sure that this car is performing as optimally as possible. So it's not just we're taking that part, slap it on and off you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, give us the check.
Actually,
there's a lot of time involved in that.
My car was serial number 25, so they'd built 24 up to this day. And of course, being the first turbocharged, that was a strong build development. Anyway, Johan, after doing this 300-kilometer test drive, put on the group, the Safari Projek group, with all the previous owners on it. This is the best off-road car he's ever built.
Wow.
Said, this is the best one we've put out.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. I couldn't wait to get it. I got my hands on it. They shipped it down here. And then he put together a rally. Got all the guys together. I think we're about 17 or 18 of the 25 cars that were built at that stage. And we did a nice 7 day rally on all the back streets of Western Province in the Cape Town area.
Not a bad place to do it. Best roads in the country. No doubt.
I mean, we have the best highways for supercars, and we have the best off-road roads in this area. I mean, you can pick your choose. You can go on and on and on and on with different routes, etc. But that is where I really experienced the true ability of this car. I was absolutely gobsmacked. This car, we could go on these off-roads. Johan's car, which was a 997, if I remember correctly, a Carrera 4 S, and of course built in-house, and him being the rally driver, it was really he had more balls than brains. I mean, there were some fucking roads that I tried to stick on behind him. Look, him and I were by far the fastest on the fast sectors. Both having race experience, and we both loved off-road, and he was a very experienced off-road racer at that stage. I remember I tried to follow him. He's got that Marlboro, it's supposed to be Marlboro, but it's Marlboro cigarette name, which means wild farmer, mad farmer, livery, up to 190 kilometers an hour on a gravel road that's full and thick with gravel.
That's crazy.
You have to get anything sideways on that road, your tickets.
Goodbye.
And I went up to 140 kilometers an hour. And I was amazed how this car just remained on track. I didn't have the balls to actually go faster than that, because I was always thinking, what if this thing just goes slightly
Just gets out of shape.
But there's Johan, gone. And some really rough terrain we did with this car. And it was a very successful rally. It was basically the launch rally of the product. Johan has been inundated with builds, and this car's gone viral. They've done over 45 cars now to date.
And I think they're moving into, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't they also moving into the Cayenne space now as well?
Absolutely.
Because that's also getting very popular now. The guys are looking at the older Cayennes and thinking, hey, man.
Another really cheap donor car.
Yeah. Especially if you get some of those old V8s.
Bang for your money, you can't beat it, man. You take a good old diesel S V8 and convert it. He's done a few now already. And but there's going to be quite a big focus on that side as well. But at this stage, is the 911s. The Cayennes are more backup vehicles.
Sure. Bit more space, obviously, if you want to take a couple more people with.
Yeah.
The family, the dogs in the back, off you go. You know, take the family where they normally can't go.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got the first rally out the way. You've got your shakedown event essentially to see, right, this is what the car can do. This is where I'm at. But then there's version 2 and there's version 3. So next on the list, you're like, well, it's time for a proper test. You put the naysayers to bed.
I was thinking, I'd really like to do something radical with this car and really to test its potential. And we've got a pass here down near Prince Albert, Swartberg Pass. There's a turnoff in the Swartberg Pass, and this pass is called the Hell, for a very good reason.
Yeah.
It's first of all, it's very hot down there in the valley. It's about a 50 kilometer one way in, same way out. And it's regarded as one of the most radical mountain passes.
Most rugged mountain passes you can go. You need 4x4. There's no
100%.
There's no other way.
Proper. You need to drive a 4x4. It's typical Land Rover, Land Cruiser, off-road tires type of.
Yeah, you're not just going to pick something off the dealer floor and drive straight there. You need a couple of upgrades first.
Definitely, and I thought this might be a good challenge. Needless to say, I put it out there, and I was warned profusely against it. Do not take a Porsche 911 down the hill. You're gonna get stuck. You're gonna screw up the car.
Take a sat phone with. We're gonna have to come fetch you.
You're gonna lose the bottom of this car on the way down because there's some really rocky areas, and if you can see by the footage, some of the real challenges that is down there. And if it gets wet or it rains, you're really in a spot. And sometimes the guys make it down and they can't make it back up again. So a lot of guys have been towed out there. It's coming back is just a bigger challenge, actually more of a challenge. And if they get a little bit of rain in between, you got some water challenges there that are really
adds
tricky.
complexity to this whole journey.
But I looked at the car and I said, look, it's got great underfloor protection because that was their biggest concern. You're going to lose the whole bottom of the car. And I said, we got protection for that. And I said, you're going to screw up that lot as well.
We got suspension, we got tires.
Suspension, we can jack up. I remember jacking up the suspension there myself. Jesus, what a job. I was so stiff for about 3 days after that because I just said, I did it myself, you got to get out and either
you got to get the spanners out, you got to get the load off, and you got to turn those sprockets, get them up.
And but I was still told that's not high enough, not near high enough. And and being a turbocharged car, manual, and that's it. I said I'm going to give it a go. Anyway.
But just the manual alone. I mean, a lot of the guys that do 4x4, there's a big mix between what people think auto's better, manual's better. Yes, I suppose in the manual you get a lot of feel, but either way, if your car's not set up correctly, doesn't matter how good you drive, you're not getting out of there.
Yeah. So I like that they've been doing 997 PDKs now as well, which I think is a brilliant idea. And it works very well. The PDK gearbox being far more
Proper
responsive.
gearbox, yeah.
With the manual, you can still when you're changing gears from third to second, there's a little delay and you can bog down.
Yeah.
But a lot of that pass was done in first gear, by the way, because it's just rock crawling. And then there was some really good pieces of that road that was pretty quick. Anyway, I went up there. I had one co-driver with me, who wasn't really a driver, it was just company. And I thought, I'm not going to get a backup vehicle for this one. I want to do it solo, but I want it recorded. And
video evidence.
And then word had it, which really got me going, that no Porsche product, Cayenne, especially 911, had ever
been to hell.
Been to hell and back.
Back.
And you got to get out of there. So so that intrigued me even more. And anyway, I did this pass, and it was radical. But it was so much fun. And I got down to the bottom. It normally takes you 3 to 4 hours to one way.
That's a long way for those amount of kilometers.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're really putting the cooling to the test,
Exactly. And we had no overheating problems. The car is just beautiful. I mean, I had 0 overheating problems. They got that right very, very well.
Off the bat.
Safari Projek. So when I got to the bottom, funny enough, there was 1 or 2 guys down there with big, souped-up Land Cruisers, high-raised suspension, knobbly tires, and they saw this Porsche 911 coming in there. And the guys' expression on their faces,
what are you doing?
What the fuck? A Porsche 911 is appearing, which means he's done it. He's done the whole thing. And they literally went down when the guys prayed to Allah or whatever it is. They hit the deck and they bowed down.
To the superiority of the Porsche Safari.
Yeah, they cracked up and then they got up again and they came straight to the car and they said, "How the hell did you get down with this car?" And holy smokes! And actually, on the same day, 2 cars behind me were towed back out of there. It was a Range Rover Sport. I don't know what the guy was thinking. Those road tires and so on.
No, standard suspension.
And the other one was a Land Cruiser, bear in mind, but not kitted up. I think he took it off the showroom floor and took it down.
And decided, they say it can go anywhere.
And they both got stuck. They had to get a tow vehicle from Oudtshoorn, I believe. The tow, because it's a one-way little road, the tow vehicle had to reverse down to pull them out.
How long did that have to take?
I have no idea, but they were cleared by the time I went back. And now I had to do this thing. I had to do this in one day.
Now you have to go back up.
So we had a quick beer down to the bottom there. There's a lovely little pub down there, and there's some rudimentary accommodation, a couple of sheep down there, some people staying down there, and the girl that runs the place, something, auntie, somebody, I'll get the name right. She also said, "Yes, sir, you get this guy down." So the first thing I asked, I said, "I've heard that no Porsche has ever made it down here, Porsche product." And she said, "Yeah, never been a Porsche down here, ever."
That's unreal.
And I said, "Ever?" I mean, she'd been there for years and years and years. She's part of the furniture down there. So that is, and then I came back out. The route out, we did exactly the same time going out, funny enough, because I think we got a bit of a handle on where the
what the line needs to be. Yeah.
Look, there was a lot of scraping I could hear underneath the car. And got out of there, called back home, put on the group. I made it, guys, on the Safari Projek group. And the first question was asked, what does the underbody look like? Is it still in one piece? And I remember looking underneath. There were just scratches. But everything was...
But that's what it's there for.
Nothing out of kilter, yeah. And so we made it out of there, in and out.
Story.
And I believe, still to date,
that's the only
no
Porsche.
Porsche product has ever been down there. And that. So at the time, it's a bit of a world record in a sense. I got accolades from all far and wide to
That's
have
amazing.
taken that thing out. So that is testament really to the build of this car. It's been a bit of a journey, building this Camel Trophy Porsche 996 Turbo of mine. And I've gone through all the little bits and pieces, some amazing trips that we've done now in Botswana and down the Hell, and some quite amazing achievements. And I'm now finally in the workshop of Safari Projek with Johan de Bruyn, who is the founding member and owner of Safari Projek. So I've welcome Johan. It's great to finally get you cornered, because you're a guy that's always all over the damn show. I can never pin you down. I wanted to get you in Cape Town. And anyway, welcome, and maybe you can just tell us a little bit about how this whole journey of yours started.
Thanks, Peter. Nice having you here. It's like you said, Safari Projek has taken my life over, and I have 2 or 3 other jobs that keep paying the bills, so I'm spread very thin at this stage. But yeah, lovely to have you here. And as everybody knows, we started with the 996 Porsches, 996 4S, to do a safari build on, because as you mentioned, the older cars, the air-cooled cars, are just becoming too expensive. They're too scarce. And the 996 is the next classic. It's already become a classic. It's 25, 26 years old. So it was the perfect model to start off with. And it's got all the safety features and the ABS and the air conditioning and everything that everybody likes and that are used to in a car by now. So we did a few 996s, 997s, and as it always goes, people say, why don't you do a turbo? And yes, I from the start said, maybe it's just too much. We can't get the width of the tires that comes on a standard turbo on these cars because of the bolt that we'll show you exactly how it's done just now. But then we were very honored to have Peter come up and give us his 996 turbo for the first turbo build ever. And I must say, it's just an unbelievable car. And when I first drove it, I was flabbergasted. It was just such a beautiful car. And for a race car driver, will there ever be something that's too much power?
No, never. And as a donor car, and this one happens to be manual as well, and being the turbo, it's a much more luxurious, the top of the range of the normal range.
Yeah, absolutely. The turbo was the top of the range of the 996.
Gives you that four-wheel drive. Gives you better soundproofing, which I think is incredible in this car compared to the standard.
So it was a bit of a headache in the beginning. We had to redesign quite a few parts on this car, especially the exhaust, the rear side of the car where we do underbody protection under the engine. We had to take the airflow of the cooling of the turbos into account. We had to, like I said, redesign quite a few parts for it. It took a bit longer than it always takes. And but I must say, once we go into this car, it just turned out beautifully, and I love the color scheme.
Yeah, and let's if you can take us on a little bit of a walk around on the car, and then just show us all the work that's actually gone into this car. That'll be really cool.
Okay, so obviously let's start at the back. Like I said, we do a full-on new bumper kit that's designed by us with underbody protection for the engine, and the underbody protection goes right through to the front to keep the whole underpinnings covered.
So the plates go from the front, from the back all the way to the front.
Yeah, and it connects up to the front bumper as well, which I'll show you just now.
Yeah.
And this car, very nice carbon fiber parts that's been fitted. New lights, replacement lights that makes it look like a new car, like the newer versions of 911s.
Yeah.
Fuchs wheels.
Are these wheels like made for this car,
Yes.
or are they off the shelf?
No. We had these especially made for us in the right offset and the right sizes
Yeah.
to actually fit with the wider bolt that we've done. This one also nice carbon fiber pieces, the underbody protection plate that keeps the stones from hitting the car on the side.
Yeah.
That took us a while to develop as well. Our standard issue from the start was a Thule roof rack. You must be able to recognize the car from quite a far away, with a Thule rack and a spare wheel on the roof that really distinguishes it from any other Porsche. And whenever people see it, it's really a friendly car.
And you had to redesign these brackets, I believe.
Yeah, in the beginning, the first ones that we made weren't really strong enough. There's too much movement on the Thule for the original ones that we made. But
Yeah.
so we learn and so we grow.
Yeah.
This has got the latest version of the rear window rack on. Just
This
gives
is
you-
like an add-on, right?
Yeah, that's just the latest design from us. It just adds to storage space and packing space if you really want to do something or go somewhere.
Yeah.
What's really special about this car is the Recaro seats on the inside.
Yeah.
It adds a nice touch. Unfortunately, in South Africa, they're very expensive. But
Yeah.
Also, this has got the Porsche replacement radio, which adds Apple CarPlay and everything else that you need.
I'll get that on a nice picture form just now. And you've also got a roll bar in
this
here.
was specially fitted with a custom-made roll bar that just adds a bit of stiffening to the chassis, which is actually not really necessary, but it looks nice.
Yeah, and it gives you that extra protection. I mean, if you do happen to,
Yeah, luckily
I mean-
to this day we haven't had a car flip over
yeah.
because luckily they're so low slung.
I got worried about it when I was going over the pans, and every now and then you would dip below, and you'd get that clay, and it would upset the car. And immediately through my mind, I thought, if it gets upset and it flips, it can easily flip. Then I had to actually limit my speed a lot there because I was scared that would happen. And then when I got back,
obviously not doing 80 k's an hour.
yeah.
Let's just go to the front
And then when I
side.
got back, I said, hey, put me a roll bar in, please.
Also
yeah.
on this car, replacement front headlights, just to give it a very nice modern look.
Yeah.
The bumpers, again, like I explained, designed by Safari Projek, built by us in-house, and it completely covers the bottom of the car. Go straight through our frog lights. You have a choice of between 2 and 4 and no spotlights on these cars, but
Yeah.
I particularly
And
love
then
this.
I just added some more additional lights up there with those real dirty nights that are where we need some extra light. And I think you also put a battery charger
Yeah,
in there, which is really handy.
because
Yeah.
typically these cars, although it's one of the best daily drivers you've ever had in your life, most of the owners of these cars have 5 or more cars, and they don't always get the chance to drive these. So
Yeah.
at least when you park it in your garage, you can plug in the charger, and the car will be fine the next time you start it.
So let's have a look at the actual underbones of the car, and because I think most of the work went into
The suspension design.
Yeah.
So luckily we've got a car that's just come back from a trip that receiving
can
some
really see
love
it.
and tender care. But so we've got the opportunity. So Philip Visser completely redesigned the suspension. We moved it out. It's 5 centimeters wider than a standard car.
Wow.
And that gives you the travel that you need to get about 200 mil of travel on the Ryger shocks that was especially made for us by Ryger, and everybody knows Ryger.
Oh, so you had those actually purposefully made for this?
Yes, they were designed by us and made by Ryger to the exact specifications that we needed. The weight of the car, the travel that we need. And so it's a 3-way adjustable shock. You can adjust the rebound, the spring hardness, the travel of it.
So do you do like for each guy's driving style? Like, I mean, do I need to tune mine again, or is it rebound and?
Yeah, we obviously do play around with it, especially ride height plays a big part. You've got quite a big adjustment that you can make on the shocks without without interfering with the shock strength.
Okay.
On this, we've got a completely redesigned exhaust made for us now by the Graaf exhaust, which gives it a nice
So
sound
they design it from front to back.
Yeah.
The whole system is
From
redesigned.
the manifolds to the rear. The exhaust tip ends are made by us in-house.
Yeah.
And
But why did you have to redo the whole exhaust system?
because of the protection that we put around the engine,
Okay.
in order to create space
Yeah.
and save a lot of weight. You know, the original exhausts on these probably weigh 40 kilograms. And so we had to create
much-
space and to give it a very specific sound to the car. You'll see all the suspension parts, the control arms.
I mean, so this is where most of the work is. There seems to
this
be
is-
an incredible amount of design and components.
This is where the magic happens. You'll see everything's branded Safari Projek. That's been designed by Philip, made out of 7705 aircraft aluminium. So I would
very
say it's
strong.
stronger than the original parts.
Yeah.
And we've never had a suspension failure over all the kilometers that we've traveled in this time.
Is that so?
And basically the same in front. So this car is completely stripped. The underbody protection is taken off.
Yeah.
But you'll see the front suspension is exactly the same as the rear.
Oh, really? Okay. So, and did you have to square the wheelbase?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because the standard car comes with narrow and wide tires.
Yeah.
So we had to make the front suspension a bit wider
Yeah.
to line up with the rear, because on a gravel road you want your 4 wheels to track, or your
Together.
front and rear wheels to track in the same track, in order to give it handling, to improve the handling on it. The only thing that we change to a standard car is the suspension, the complete drivetrain, the brakes, everything. The engine is completely standard, like we got it from the from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
So that's what's so beautiful about this, is that anybody can work on it. So the only real special part in this is the shocks. We've never had a shock fail. And if it fails, you can still drive the car. It won't make it undrivable. It won't handle as great. But yeah, so what we do to some of the older cars, we just fit a limited slip diff to the rear.
Okay. Does mine have a?
I think yours had a limited slip diff from the start.
I know they spoke about it at the time, but I don't know whether they actually fitted that.
If it didn't have one, we would have fitted it, because it just gives it so much more control on a gravel road, and makes it so much more fun to drive.
Yeah. And just behind me here now is Mr. Mark Castell, who's just joined us now. And we're about to head off onto a little adventure tomorrow.
It's a little one.
Oh, and you've just come off a major one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've covered basically everything.
So the whole front bumper is remade.
Yeah. So this is manufactured by us to be able to fit the aluminium part of the bumper. That's a strong part of it.
Yeah.
And the rest is carbon fiber or fiberglass, depends what the client wants.
Yeah.
And as you know, the beautiful thing about our builds is that you start with a clean slate.
Yeah.
You come here, the car was black. We've just built a yellow one for a client, completely stripped it down, resprayed it into speed yellow. You choose your wheels. We've got various types of wheels and different styles, the Evo Corsairs and the Fuchs wheels and other ones.
Like the rally wheels.
Yeah. So, and then obviously the interior of your car as well. We custom make that to your liking.
Yeah.
So every car that goes out here is different.
And what is this car? What model is this? A 997?
So this is also, this was just before we bought the turbo for you.
Yeah.
A client of ours brought us a 997.2 Ford GTS, which is an
Fantastic.
incredible car, and they've, the prices have shot up so much in the last 2 years that a build like this would probably set you back 2.6 million at this stage, just because of the donor car that's so expensive.
So it's the donor. So there's obviously the cost of the donor car, and then there's the build cost.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about the build cost. I mean, I guess there's so many options, and it depends on the client's checkbook. But there's basics that you have to do.
Yeah, the basics are the suspension and the front and the rear bumpers and the underbody protection. I mean, if you've gone for that,
and the exhaust, yeah.
Yeah, and the exhaust. So then everything underneath is a must do.
Yeah.
So we cut the fenders, we add the widened arches. Then we've got wheel arch protectors that go in here, and then, but that's basically what you have to do. I mean, then from there on up and inside the car is completely up to you. And being a Porsche owner, you know how quickly costs can escalate with extras in a car.
Yeah, and you want it to look spunky, and you want it to look like the part, I mean, I think I went a little bit boss on my car, I just wanted everything to be right and to look the part. And
we spray the same things in the air that Toby Venter does in Porsche Center. You walk in here, you just want to buy.
Yeah, and I love the color designs. I mean, each guy can have his own color design. The wrapping is done so professionally, and then I would imagine everything is covered with XPEL after that.
Absolutely, XPEL. We partnered with XPEL, and we use Falcon tires that we've found to be extremely good over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I've used it in the SA Rally Raid Champs for the last 2 years, and I must tell you, it's unbelievable tires. That what we achieved with road tires or a mud terrain tire in the SA Rally Raid Champs was incredible.
Really, eh? Yeah, but I can't believe the terrain that I've been on with my car that I haven't got a puncture.
Yeah.
I just can't believe it, actually.
So just to get back to the cars,
Yeah.
every one is a one-off. So you will drive out here with a car
That's so nice
special
because the
for you.
client gets involved, and it's an intimate build, and it's to their taste, and like especially the colors and so on. So I think a 997.2, that's obviously got the PDK gearbox.
PDK
That must
gearbox
be amazing in this off-road car.
It is unbelievable to drive. Puts down the power so nicely. But then obviously, driving a car off-road, having a manual box, being able to play in.
Yeah.
It's just, I think
Very
it's
engaging.
the most fun.
Yeah, very engaging. That's what I've got. I mean, with that turbo and all that power, I've still got the Mansi kit in there as well, which gives it its 500 horsepower. I tell you what I did on the pans last year, I needed that power.
Yeah,
I mean,
that car's been to hell and back, and it's got the stickers to prove it.
Yeah. Needed that. So you got to get a trip organized to that. One of these days.
I must tell you that the last trip that we've been on to Swaziland and Lesotho, those roads were so badly washed away that that's as bad as the hell, I promise you.
Did you lose the underbodies?
Yeah. I must be very proud to say, with 19 of our cars doing just over 2,500 kilometers, we had no problems with the 911s. We obviously still in the design phases with the Cayennes. Let's just walk around this Cayenne quickly.
Because this is now a whole add-on to your business now. You've gone over to the Cayennes.
And this is a very special car.
The specific one.
Yeah, the owner that had the first 911 that we built, he actually sold it at some stage, and then he had us build the first Cayenne in the same color, same wrap as the first 911 was. And I must say, these cars are unbelievable.
So why is this one special?
No, it's just the first Cayenne, and it's a beautiful color, and I
love this color. It's the same as your serial number 1911.
Yeah. So this car has probably driven 25,000 k's since the build. It's a V8 diesel Cayenne.
Oh yeah, that's really great.
Yeah, it's got very, very.
So has this got all your latest mods on them?
This has now got all the latest mods as well. So we've upgraded it a bit since.
Yeah, some
Yeah, the bumper is the typical Safari Projek look, so you'll recognize the car from a distance.
Yeah.
In this case, we use KW suspension, which is a sister company of Ryger.
Okay.
And as we speak, Ryger is building a set of shocks for us to test on the Cayennes as well.
So do you also have underbody protection on this?
But not as much as on the 911s. We just cover the most critical parts, as it's got a lot more of ride height and clearance than a 911. You don't need as much, so we just cover the most critical parts underneath.
Yeah. And then this looks like a custom built.
Yeah, this is also all the bumpers, everything is built in-house by us. It's a nice spare wheel cover to give you enough packing space on the inside. And,
Brilliant.
as beautiful as a 911 is, a Cayenne is just a bit more practical.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more off-road capable in its standard form.
Yeah, but at least you
And
can
now
take 4 people with you in the car. And
Yeah. So you've now raised the suspension as well. So it's a whole new suspension kit on here as well.
yes, so this has got 2 inches of lift with 2 inches more travel. And it handled all the rough stuff that we threw at it beautifully.
Amazing.
Tires were incredible.
Is that so?
Yes, they're amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, the diesel, this V8 diesel
Yeah.
is something else.
The diesels are strong.
Yeah.
But even the V6 diesel is a great car. I mean, we've
Yeah.
built quite a few of them by now. The V8 diesels are very scarce and they're also getting expensive. It seems like as soon as anybody here that we're building a car from a donor, the price is double.
Yeah. I've got somebody in Cape Town that has promised me his V8 diesel. He wants to sell it now anyway.
No, let's take it.
Take
Take
it. Take it and we build it. We do a radical build. I want a radical build. So you haven't really done much. You haven't done much to the interior of this, right?
No, it's also up to the
There's
client's spec.
Yeah.
This one had a beautiful beige interior that was still brand new,
Yeah.
and we just left it as it is. But on the other ones, we do also, fit a bit of Alcantara or,
Yeah.
what do you call it, Pepita inserts into the leather. It's just to make it look special.
Well, okay, Johan, man, thanks very much for that, for showing us around and showing us more the technical side of things. I've always wanted to see that, and I think it's, people want to see what you actually do to the car. And I must tell you, I love my Camel. I call it my Camel.
Yeah.
And this Camel has done a couple of things. And we're about to do it again tomorrow. And, it's so nice to use it in these radical terrains because we've had to upgrade a few things. I mean, this thing was a sand collector.
Yeah, it was.
Initially, I hope you've got still some of the Clifton sand here. And the last time I was here, I nearly brought the whole of Clifton Beach here with it. And then the Botswana pan sand.
So
All right.
the great thing about these cars is you meet a lot of nice people,
Yeah.
and then like you've seen
It's like
by
a
now,
Harley Davidson club, it's a Porsche club, it's now the Safari club,
and now you go places where you'd have never gone with your Land Cruiser or your Range Rover or whatever car that is as capable.
Yeah.
But now you want to take this car on roads and see places that you would have never seen in under normal circumstances.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest things, and it's affordable. That's the main thing,
Absolutely.
I think Porsche have come out with what do they call it, a Dakar or something.
Yeah.
Which I tell you what, I've put out a challenge. I want a Dakar to go down the hell and back. I'd like to see that.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, these cars they're cost effective. They and you can do so much with them, and they're still so capable on road.
I must
as well.
tell you, we've just driven a Dakar now. Yeah. It's a beautiful car. I obviously love new Porsches as well.
Yeah.
But for what we've designed these cars, they're much more capable off-road and going into real rough conditions. They can handle it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying that Dakar won't handle it, but would you go into these conditions with a 6-7 million rand car?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. And
These are way more comfortable.
yeah.
By far.
These,
Way more comfortable.
Yeah. Okay, great, man. That's fantastic. Thanks very much, Johan,
Thanks for having me, Peter.
taking me through the car and the build. Okay, everybody, stay tuned, and we will be bringing you this next episode where we will be talking more about some exciting adventures that we've been doing in this magnificent Safari Projek Porsche 911.